He's probably been planning it since the first time, he couldn't get comprehensive immigration reform. Some people can't figure out, and I even struggle with it too, and I know, what is going on? Well, it's because you're trying to use conventional wisdom. You got to quit using conventional wisdom to try and figure out what this president is doing. There's nothing conventional about him. Never has been anything conventional about him. If you try and use conventional wisdom to figure out what this president's doing, your brain's going to short circuit. He's not radical, is what this president is. Not conventional, radical.
Top CBP officials, even some senior White House, senior administration officials from the Secretary of Homeland Security with those optics, George, and that's simply because the president is very aware of the situation.
Very aware what's going on.
Southwest border.
He caused it.
Senior administration officials from the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Secretary of HHS, top CBP officials, even some senior White House officials have traveled in the last several weeks to the Southwest border.
They've been down there passing out lollipops.
Is troubling. We've seen this influx of illegal migration from Central America. What they've also seen, however, though, are...
See, this is old Soviet-style propaganda. They get this clown out here every day. Oh, this is troubling, George. This is very troubling. Some of the senior officials have been down there. It's very troubling, and we're working on it. This is like old Soviet-style stuff, where they say one thing and do just the opposite. They're not working on anything. They caused this to happen. They've been working on causing it for several years. But you listen to these guys. Oh, this is troubling. We've got this guy on it. We're in touch with Homeland Security and Homeland Security. We're in touch with the Border Patrol. This is very disturbing and troubling. The president's fully aware of it. Like he's going to do something to fix it. Not going to fix it. He's causing it. I don't know why these people don't just call them out for what they are.
Are the efforts of FEMA working closely with DHS and HHS and the Department of Defense to set up detention facilities to ensure that while those who are apprehended
don't detain anybody.
Are detained in a humanitarian way. The law requires that. And again, this is something the administration is...
They're going to detain them long enough to figure out what city they're going to bus them to and drop them off.
The president's well aware of what's happening along the southwest border, and that is why you've seen the wide range of steps from the authority the president already has to enforce the law. You've also seen...
Did you hear that? He's the one that ordered the law not be enforced. I mean, these people are insane. Well, they're not insane. They got a plan. Their plan's coming together just fine while they get this clown, this spokesmoron, while he's out in front talking about the president enforcing the law. The president's been, on the phone for 3 years telling him not to enforce the law. Remember, they sued Arizona for trying to enforce federal immigration law because he wasn't. Just like Benghazi, he ordered the Border Patrol to stand down the day he took office. And when Arizona said, okay, if you're not going to enforce the law, we're going to pass a state law that directly mimics. See, and they foolishly thought, because they used conventional wisdom, they thought, well, okay, if Obama's not going to enforce the law, I know, we'll just pass a state law that directly mimics federal law. It's identical to federal law. So, what are they going to do about that? They can't, our law's exactly identical to theirs. See, Arizona really thought they were going to be able to get away with that. Because they use conventional wisdom. Well, if our law is no different than the federal law, how are they going to do anything about it? They found out. I'll tell you what they're going to do about it. A criminal president's going to call a criminal attorney general and have him sue Arizona. And then we'll get some criminal liberal federal judge to fight in our favor. You know. It's like right out of, the Gestapo. It's right out of Nazi Germany stuff. Or any other, right out of Joe Stalin. Right out of any other banana republic, third world dictator. Or first world dictator, for that matter. And Arizona got their hat handed to them in federal court because they used conventional wisdom. No, that's done. It's over with. Now, when the president first took office and started doing this stuff, okay, yeah, people tried to use conventional wisdom, meaning, accepted norms, accepted legal stuff. No, this president is a dictator. And there's only one way to stand up to a dictator, and that's punch him in the mouth, metaphorically. These governors should mobilize their National Guard and secure their borders now, before it's too late. Barack Obama's on a suicide mission. People say, well, he should be happy. He got his health care through. He's got a lot of stuff done, He should be happy. Just cruise on out. No. No. He wants to do as much damage to this country as he can in the next 3 years. And if we don't stand up and say enough, you think it's bad now. There's stuff been happening in this country for the last 5 years that nobody, if you'd have said 25 years ago a president was going to sue one of the border states to stop him from enforcing immigration law, there's stuff happening now. If you'd have said 25 years ago, which there was a health care battle, and it was resoundingly, there was a push for national health care by Hillary Clinton, and then she got her hat handed to her real quick. There's stuff been going on for the last 5 years that 20, 30, 40 years ago, people would have said, you're crazy. That ain't never going to happen in America. All that's happening then some, and it's going to keep happening. Now, all these people do is get on TV and talk. John Boehner, all he does is talk. Oh, I'm going to sue the president. That's going to take about 12 years before it ever goes to court, before rulings ever, it's nonsense. Nothing. Rick Perry gets on TV this weekend. Well, the president's either stupid or he don't care. All they do is get on TV and talk. Nobody's doing. Time for talking's over. It's time for people to stand up to this president. If I was one of them border states, I'd tell the feds to go to hell. I'd mobilize the National Guard and I'd secure my border. I don't give a damn if they impeached me. I'd secure that border every day until the day they remove me from office. Because as an American, that's my duty. As the governor of the state, that's my duty to protect my citizen. The citizens of my state. I don't give a damn if they impeach me. And that's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. There's not one politician in this country who's got the courage to stand up to the point that it cost him his job. I talked a couple of weeks ago about the lapdog generals in the military, the lapdog people at the Pentagon, the lapdog Joint Chiefs. They're like Hitler yes men. Why isn't? Well, A, he's pretty much purged the military of anybody that would stand up to him. You know, that's why he's purged them. Hundreds of senior military officers fired or retired early. And maybe some of those behind the scenes were standing up to him. We just didn't know about it. Not one general has come out publicly and said, you know what? No, I can't be a part of this. I'm resigning my commission. What this president's doing is the betrayal of America. He's betraying his duty and his oath to the Constitution, and I won't be a part of it. Not one general or admiral. And I don't see one politician willing to stand up to him, even if it cost him his job. No, they're all yes men. The ones that aren't yes men are just, cowards. The ones that do disagree with him, they're just cowards and won't speak up, won't take a stand. You're right. Hot Bonnet Chatter, he won't be happy until he destroys the United States. That's his goal. And I'm not so sure it's not just the United States. I'm not so sure it's not the world. Because, those kind of radicals, they tend to think a little, they tend to think on a global scale. Check out another story here from Breitbart News. Shout out to Breitbart News. Source feds to bring in riot squad against illegal immigration protesters. This is your federal government, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to bring in riot squads against people protesting the invasion of our border. And you and I are not surprised at all. What does that say? What does that say about how upside down we are? Doesn't surprise me at all they're bringing in riot squads against American protesters who are protesting the invasion of our southern border. This is off of Breitbart News, article by Kristen Tate. Houston, Texas, as illegal immigrants continue to spill across the U.S.-Mexico border, federal authorities are attempting to relocate the migrants from South Texas to housing facilities in states across the nation. See, they're trying to get them away from the border. As soon as they come in, they're busing them because they can't house them down in those states. They're trying to spread them out throughout the country, ladies and gentlemen, so they can let them go and we'll never find them again.